Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're embarking on a fascinating exploration into the world of artificial intelligence in medicine, looking ahead to 2025.
And our guide for this journey is a really comprehensive review. It's titled Artificial Intelligence for Medicine 2025, Navigating the Endless Frontier.
Exactly. This review pulls together just a huge amount of current research.
Gives us a very clear picture, I think, of the exciting directions AI is heading in healthcare.
Right. And our goal today, for you, the learner, is to really pull out the most compelling insights from this review.
Yeah, kind of cut through the dense technical language.
We want to highlight the practical implications, the truly game-changing possibilities AI offers medicine right now.
We'll be looking at how AI is understanding complex medical data, how it's helping predict breakthroughs.
And even tackling some major societal challenges, all while keeping it clear, engaging, and hopefully not too overwhelming.
Okay, let's get into it.
So the review kicks off by looking at how AI is, well, fundamentally changing how we understand medical data, especially in this area called phenomics.
Ah, phenomics.
Right. For anyone who hasn't come across that term, what exactly is phenomics?
Well, originally the phenomic meant just the observable physical traits, what you could see.
Okay.
But that understanding has really expanded. Now, phenomics covers the whole set biological, physical, chemical properties throughout our entire lives.
The whole life cycle.
From development right through to old age. It's everything from our physical form, how our body functions, even behaviors, down to the tiny molecules.
So it's much, much broader than just appearance then.
Definitely.
And the review really emphasizes how AI is becoming essential for analyzing this incredibly complex data. They call it high-dimensional phenotypic data.
Things like gene activity, proteomics, metabolomics, those detailed medical images.
Right, and what strikes me is how AI can find these hidden patterns, connections that we might just completely miss on our own.
Precisely. Machine learning can sift through these massive data sets, pull out the significant features, and give us clues about the underlying biological mechanisms.
Any examples will leap out?
Well, the review mentions a study where AI analyzed facial features.
Facial features?
Yeah, and found potential links to the risk of developing certain diseases. That's a whole new way of thinking, isn't it?
Wow. That something like our face could hold clues about disease risk.
It suggests AI could unlock completely new diagnostic pathways, recognizing subtle indicators we're not even conscious of. A real potential shift in early detection.
That is mind-blowing. But okay, with all this different data from so many places, standardization must be absolutely critical, right?
Oh, absolutely crucial. If data from different hospitals or labs isn't consistent, uses different definitions,
It's useless for combining.
it becomes incredibly hard to integrate and share effectively. The review really stresses setting up uniform data standards.
Makes sense.
It actually highlights the development of the first multi-omics quartet reference materials.
What do those do?
They basically allow for much more reliable, comparable data across different labs. Think of it like a standardized ruler, so everyone's measurements line up.
Okay, got it. That speeds things up.
Significantly, yes. It accelerates the whole pace of research.
So that sounds like a really fundamental step. Now let's get practical. How is AI actually being used to diagnose and predict diseases with this phenotypic data?
Right, this is where that pattern recognition ability really shines. By analyzing huge amounts of imaging, clinical info, genetic data,
AI spots the links.
it identifies distinctive patterns linked to specific diseases. The review gives some great examples. Deep learning algorithms.
Those are the AI systems that learn from data.
Exactly. They're already analyzing CT, MRI, PET scans to help diagnose things like cancer and cardiovascular disease.
And it's not just about spotting something obvious on a scan, is it? I remember reading about an intelligent decision support system somewhere. Fudan University.
Yes, at the Children's Hospital of Fudan University. It's pretty cutting edge.
How does it work?
It uses advanced natural language processing and deep learning on years of pediatric medical records.
Okay.
And what's fascinating is it can help doctors make diagnoses even without immediate lab results.
Really? How?
It alerts them to specific symptoms, suggests possible diagnoses ranked by likelihood, recommends further tests, basically speeds up getting the right care to kids.
That could make a huge difference. Reducing delays, maybe helping less experienced doctors too.
Exactly. Think about the impact on workload and accuracy. It could even change the doctor-patient dynamic as AI becomes more of a partner.
Incredible. getting diagnostic support in real time. The review also mentioned combining human phenomics data with AI for precision medicine. How does that work?
By analyzing an individual's unique characteristics, their genetic variations, physiological signs like blood pressure, lifestyle factors.
All that phenotypic data we talked about.
Right. AI can predict their future risk for diseases like diabetes, heart disease, certain cancers.
So you can be proactive.
Allows for proactive, preventative steps. Truly personalized health management. It's about understanding your individual risk profile and tailoring interventions.
Like a personalized health forecast.
Right.
Makes sense. And with all the wearables now Fitbit, smartwatches AI must be involved in tracking our health continuously too.
Absolutely. Wearables collect a ton of phenotypic data, heart rate, blood pressure, sleep, activity levels. AI models analyze this data in real time, continuous monitoring, personalized health management.
So it spots changes early.
Early detection of unusual changes, early warnings, personalized recommendations for staying healthy, Google's personal health large language model, PHLLM.
Built on their Gemini model.
That's the one. It combines user health data with powerful language AI to offer tailored advice, quizzes, even predict future health reports.
Wow, like a 247 personalized health coach. The review also mentioned AI helping choose the best treatments. How does that work?
By analyzing a patient's specific profile, gene expression, active proteins, clinical symptoms, AI helps select therapies most likely to work for that person.
Tailoring the treatment itself.
Exactly. In cancer, for instance, AI analyzes the tumor's genetics and the patient's overall health to choose therapies with the highest chance of success and fewer side effects.
That's huge for improving outcomes and avoiding treatments that won't work. And beyond just selecting treatments, AI is also speeding up drug discovery itself.
Right. AI, especially combined with phenomics data, can significantly accelerate finding and screening potential drug targets. By analyzing phenotypic data from patients with a disease, AI identifies key molecules involved, giving researchers clear targets for new drugs.
And predicting effectiveness.
Yes, predicting efficacy and potential adverse reactions. It streamlines the whole pipeline, makes it more efficient and safer.
So faster, smarter, safer drug development. Okay, one last point on this section. AI models integrating both phenomics and genomics data. What's the big picture goal there?
The ultimate goal is really understanding those intricate links between our observable traits, phenotypes, and our underlying genetics genomes.
How genes influence traits, basically.
Exactly. AI models analyze this combined data to figure out how genes influence phenotypes and how that affects health and disease susceptibility.
Leading to new treatments.
Yeah. That deeper understanding can reveal new disease mechanisms and, crucially, new targets for treatments. Plus, AI's pattern recognition can mine this data for new biomarkers.
Biomarkers, like indicators.
Indicators for early disease detection, predicting progression, monitoring treatment response. It's all about getting more precise information earlier.
Okay, let's shift gears. The review highlights these things called foundation models for diagnosis and understanding disease progression. We hear foundation models a lot in AI generally.
Yeah.
What's their role here?
Yeah, their development in medicine has really been driven by two things. The huge amount of medical data available now and massive leaps in computing power, GPUs, TPUs, that kind of thing.
Right.
These models are trained on enormous, diverse data sets, and then they can be applied to a really wide range of medical tasks. The review groups them into types.
Like EMR models, pathology, imaging.
Exactly. EMR, digital pathology, medical imaging, physiological signal, and omics models.
Okay, let's start with EMR models, analyzing electronic medical records.
Right. In a hospital's EMR system, you've got patient info, history, lab results, all stored. EMR models analyze this comprehensive data.
To do what? Predict things.
Predict how a disease might progress or if it might recur after treatment. For example, a patient with diabetes shows high blood sugar.
The model looks at past trends.
Exactly, and suggests potential treatment adjustments. What's also interesting is they can help with diagnosis for unclear symptoms.
How so?
A doctor inputs symptoms, the model searches a huge database for similar cases, and lists potential diagnoses by likelihood. Helps consider more possibilities.
It's like having an AI assistant searching millions of files for relevant patterns.
Kind of, yeah. A superpowered assistant finding patterns that might predict what's next for a patient.
Sounds incredibly useful for clinicians.
Yeah.
Next up, digital pathology models. This is AI looking at tissue samples.
Precisely. They process and analyze those detailed microscopic images of tissue samples using advanced computer vision, deep learning.
To spot abnormalities, like cancer cells.
Exactly. The review mentions Huawei's RuiPath model. These models analyze fine details, cell shape, size, nucleus characteristics to distinguish normal from cancerous.
Even beyond diagnosis.
Yeah, they can even detect subtle features in the surrounding tissue, which helps understand how the disease might behave. And they can help predict progression based on these microscopic features. Gives doctors more info for treatment decisions.
Okay. Moving to medical imaging models. We touched on diagnosis, but what else?
They're great for identifying normal and abnormal structures in all sorts of images. X-rays, CT, MRI, ultrasound.
Like finding lung nodules.
Finding nodules, yes, and even distinguishing benign from malignant ones. But beyond that, they can create 3D models from standard 2D images.
For visualization.
Provides a much richer way to visualize anatomy and any problems. Incredibly valuable for surgical planning.
I can see that, especially complex surgery.
Complex procedures like heart surgery, radiation therapy. Having a detailed 3D picture helps optimize the approach, minimize damage to healthy tissue.
That 3D aspect sounds like a huge benefit. What about physiological signal models, heartbeats, brainwaves?
Exactly that. With wearables and medical devices, we collect tons of physiological signal data, ECGs for heart activity, EEGs for brain activity.
So what can AI do with ECGs?
ECG models analyze those signals to detect heart rhythm abnormalities, like atrial fibrillation.
Which is serious.
Yeah, early detection is critical. It significantly increases stroke risk. But these models also predict future risk of heart disease by picking out patterns in ECG signals.
So predictive as well as diagnostic.
Allows for a more proactive, preventative approach to heart health. Not just what's happening now, but a heads up about future risks.
Got it. And finally, omics models. How are these foundation models applied specifically to omics data?
They analyze vast amounts of biological data, genetic mutations, gene expression patterns, revealing which genes are more or less active in disease.
And predicting treatment response.
Based on an individual's unique omics profile? Yes. Helping doctors choose the best course of action. The review mentions TMONet.
Tumor Multi-Omics Pre-Trained Network.
Right. Performs really well, identifying cancer subtypes, predicting drug response. And it's not just cancer. These approaches apply to Alzheimer's, cardiovascular disease too.
These foundation models sound incredibly powerful, but the review notes there's still work to do. Areas for improvement.
Definitely promising, but yes, still areas to improve. Interpretability is crucial understanding why the model predicts something.
The black box problem.
Kind of. Then there's multimodal integration, combining different data types like images and genetics more effectively, and needing faster real-time responses in clinics.
Future directions.
The review mentions exciting stuff. Knowledge graphs for interconnected medical info, federated AI for secure data sharing, transfer learning, even digital twins.
Digital twins, like a virtual patient.
Essentially, yeah. Virtual simulations of individuals to predict disease progression and treatment responses. Lots of exciting avenues ahead.
Okay, let's shift focus again. The review looks at AI in drug development and surgical robots. Starting with drugs, how else is AI speeding things up?
Well, AI models, especially deep learning ones, can analyze the 3D structures of proteins or RNAs.
And predict interactions.
Predict very accurately how they'll interact with small molecule drugs. This massively accelerates identifying promising candidates, reduces costly lab experiments.
A huge efficiency boost, sounds like. The review highlights AlphaFold 3. That seems significant.
It is a major step from AlphaFold 2. AF2 was mostly single proteins. AF3 predicts complex systems, proteins, nucleic acids, small molecules, ions, modified proteins.
Nice broader scope.
Broader scope, improved accuracy in those complex areas, a really significant development. But the review also notes still room for improvement.
Interesting. So a big leap, but not the final answer yet. Limitations.
Right. For single proteins, it wasn't a huge jump over AF2. And for RNA structure prediction, its accuracy isn't quite up there with specialized AI methods like EMR-RNA2.
Why is RNA harder?
Partly fewer known structures to learn from compared to proteins. And RNA sequences aren't as well conserved across species, making it harder to find similar examples.
Okay. Other limits?
AF3 still relies heavily on finding good related sequences, and it struggles to predict molecules that exist in multiple stable shapes, which is actually quite common.
Right. If it's not a fixed shape, prediction is much harder. The review mentions trying to overcome these limits, like using protein language models.
Yes, models like ESMFold, trained on vast sequence data, try to reduce reliance on finding those related natural sequences.
Does it work?
ESMFold shows some improvement for proteins without many relatives, but still doesn't beat AlphaFold 2 when good related sequences are available. Suggests language models capture some evolutionary info, but not like structural examples.
And predicting those multiple shapes, how are researchers tackling that?
Several groups are building on AlphaFold. One approach generates different structures by looking at variations within the related sequences used as input.
Clues in the variations.
The idea is variations hint at different possible conformations. Another promising way uses generative models, diffusion models, flow matching models like AlphaFlow.
What do they do?
Predict the range of possible shapes without needing multiple related sequences. AlphaFlow showed big improvements in accuracy and variety of predicted structures, but still, early days need experimental confirmation.
Sounds like predicting dynamic structures is really complex. What about predicting the function of these biomolecules with AlphaFold 3?
The fact AF3 handles complexes, different molecule types interacting, definitely opens doors for predicting function. But performance needs improvement.
Why? Still data limits.
Partly limited structural data and limited info on how different molecules co-evolve, especially RNA and small molecules interacting with proteins. Need more data, better understanding.
The review discusses strategies for that lack of evolutionary info, like creating artificial sequences, SIBSEQ.
Yes, SIBSEQ combines experimental techniques with assays to generate stable artificial sequences related to the target protein.
Creating your own related sequences.
Kind of. Useful for proteins without many natural relatives, or studying interactions and structural changes. Tailoring sequences to specific questions.
Clever workaround. The review also stresses integrating data from various experimental sources. Why is that so crucial?
Because the number of experimentally determined structures for training AI will likely always be limited, especially for unstable ones or the vast number of possible drug molecules.
So other experiments add info.
Exactly. High-throughput binding assays, RNA structure probing, they provide complementary biochemical info. But this data often needs specific processing for AI.
Highlighting the need for collaboration.
Really highlights it. AI experts and biologists need to work closely to push the boundaries here. That interdisciplinary aspect is key.
And the review mentions physics-based deep learning methods. The idea there.
Ultimately, to truly predict folding from sequence alone, we need to understand the fundamental physics. These methods aim to learn those physical laws directly from data, figure out the energy functions driving folding, potentially overcome data limits.
Okay, switching gears to surgical robots. Sounds like they're becoming more autonomous.
That's right. Advances in automation and AI, they're moving beyond just being assistive tools.
Yeah.
But the review points out regulations haven't really kept pace.
Holding back wider use.
Limiting wider use of AI-powered robots, yeah. The review mentions a classification system, LASR, levels of autonomy in surgical robotics.
Yes. Proposed in April 2024. 6 levels. Level 0, no autonomy, to Level 5, fully independent surgery, based on decision-making, task completion.
And where are we now?
Most approved robots in the U.S. are Level 1 surgeon in direct control. A few at Level 2 perform pre-programmed tasks. Only 3 at Level 3.
Level 3 means what?
Autonomously develop surgical strategies, complete operations under supervision. We haven't seen Level 4 or 5 yet.
So, still a ways off full autonomy. Which surgical areas use robots most?
Orthopedics is fastest growing, about a third of robots. Then urology, general surgery, thoracic, neurosurgery.
And those Level 3 robots.
They're used in orthopedics for precise bone milling, urology for prostate biopsies, plastic surgery for hair follicle extraction. Other areas use fewer, all Level 1.
Orthopedics really leading the charge then. With this rising autonomy, regulations must be lagging, as the review says. What needs updating?
Absolutely. Frameworks designed for surgeon-controlled robots need updating. Need clear responsibility definitions, surgeon and manufacturer roles.
Better governance of the AI.
Enhanced assessment and governance of the AI used, and clear practice guidelines for robots at different autonomy levels. Crucial for safe, effective integration.
Okay, next area. Brain-computer interfaces, BCIs. So much hope there, especially for disabled patients. How's AI driving progress in cognition and communication?
The AI-BCI combination is opening really exciting possibilities. The review highlights explainable AI for BCI or XAI for BCI.
Explainable AI, making it understandable.
Exactly. As BCI systems get more complex with AI, XAI for BCI aims to make the tech easier to understand, more trustworthy for everyone, improves performance, helps communication.
That transparency feels vital for such personal tech. The review mentions Synchron's BCI platform integrating with OpenAI's generative AI.
Yes, announced July 2024, Synchron's Stentrode device.
Implanted how?
Minimally invasive in a neck blood vessel to reach brain areas. It translates patient intentions, especially paralyzed patients, into electronic signals.
And the OpenAI integration.
Gives users an advanced chat function, allows individuals to communicate much more effectively. Still early stages, but real hope for expression reconnecting.
Truly groundbreaking. And NYU research on speech synthesis using neural decoders.
Right. NYU developed an advanced system, April 2024. Takes speech signals, turns them into parameters, synthesizes natural-sounding speech.
Overcoming data limits.
That's a big challenge, yeah. They found a specific AI model, ResNet, performed really well decoding speech, important for BCI. They also looked at left-right brain roles in speech comprehension. Method worked consistently across subjects.
Sounds like solid progress in understanding and generating speech from brain signals. The review wraps up by emphasizing the synergy between AI and BCI, benefits and challenges.
Huge potential for diagnosing neurological disorders more accurately, improving rehabilitative therapies. But important challenges: data security, privacy, ethics.
Needs careful handling.
Essential to address these to realize the incredible possibilities for enhancing human abilities, transforming healthcare, and communication.
Right. Now let's tackle some practical challenges. Computational power needed for AI in medicine. The review notes a larger is better trend. Resource implications.
Yeah, initially with large models like LLMs, the thinking was often bigger model, more data, more power equals better accuracy.
But the cost.
Training these massive models takes tremendous compute power, advanced GPUs, lots of electricity, very high cost, significant energy footprint. Makes wide use difficult. Big models have downsides.
The review mentions small language models, SLMs, as a possible solution. How do they compare?
SLMs are emerging as more cost-effective, efficient alternatives, especially for specific tasks needing less general ability.
Fair focus.
Exactly. Interestingly, OpenAI reported they can predict full GPT-4 performance from smaller versions, highlighting SLM potential. Microsoft's Phi and Phi-3 models are examples.
How are they built?
Techniques like parameter-efficient fine-tuning, PEFT, and knowledge distillation are key. PEFT methods, like adapters, fine-tune large LLMs by updating only a small part of the parameters. Much more efficient.
Sounds much more sustainable. What about improving the algorithms themselves for large models, making them run better?
Two common strategies are instruction tuning and reinforcement learning from human feedback, RLHF.
Making them behave more like humans want.
Basically, yes. Instruction tuning uses human annotated data. RLHF uses reinforcement learning to refine behavior without explicit instructions for everything.
But RLHF is demanding.
Very effective, but needs lots of compute resources. Researchers are working on optimizations like Remax to reduce that burden. Other optimization areas.
Handling longer text sequences is important, gives models more info, but can hurt performance in standard attention models. So research into efficient architectures, like mixture of experts, MOE, and multi-head latent attention, MLA, examples.
DeepSeek v3 uses both MOE and MLA for high performance with significantly lower compute cost. Lots of innovation in training and efficiency.
The review also mentions hardware and software frameworks briefly. How do they help?
The underlying infrastructure is absolutely crucial. Specialized chips like Huawei's Ascend NPU speed up complex calculations.
And software.
Deep learning frameworks, TensorFlow, PyTorch, PaddlePaddle, Mindspore provide tools for developers to build and deploy AI efficiently. They manage resources, handle technical details. Mindspore is noted for effectively using multiple Ascend NPUs together.
Okay, moving to software development challenges for AI in medicine. How are LLMs helping developers here?
LLMs are proving incredibly useful for creating AI-powered biomedical software. They help overcome challenges like integrating complex data, costly development cycles, improving interoperability.
How specifically?
LLM APIs like GPT-4 API, Dubo API offer powerful natural language processing. Software can understand complex biomedical texts, clinical notes, research papers much better.
And coding help.
Tools like GitHub Copilot use AI to assist writing code, suggesting code, generating whole sections, speeds things up significantly, helps create more interoperable systems that share data seamlessly. Essential for comprehensive care, collaborative research.
Like AI helping build AI tools more efficiently. The review gives BioOS as an example platform.
Yes, BioOS by Volsingen. It's a cloud-based platform specifically for analyzing biomedical information. Offers tools for data handling, transmission, storage, management, analysis across the bioinformatics data lifecycle.
What's it used for?
Helping researchers make research reproducible, track steps, share findings easily. Typical uses: managing bioinformatics data, running analyses, replicating studies, submitting papers. Good illustration of advanced tools streamlining research.
The review takes a really interesting turn next. AI solutions for low birth rates. That's a major societal concern.
Oh.
How's AI being applied?
AI tools are starting to emerge as valuable resources here, helping with reproductive planning, enhancing assisted reproductive technology, RT success rates, providing personalized fertility advice. The review details several applications.
Let's start with AI ovarian reserve assessment and menopause prediction, the OvaRepred tool.
Right. OvaPred is designed to evaluate and predict a woman's ovarian reserve key for fertility. It analyzes AMH levels, age, other factors.
Giving women more info?
Clearer understanding of their current reserve predicts potential perimenopause onset, empowers informed decisions about family planning.
And linked to other health issues.
The review notes ovarian aging is linked to hormonal imbalances, metabolic conditions like PCOS. OvaPred might offer early warnings there too. Future integration with nutrition, environmental monitoring tools is possible.
Sounds proactive for managing reproductive health. What about AI making ART tile like IVF more successful?
AI has potential here. The review mentions Povastem,
What's that?
an AI tool guiding individualized FSH dosing in RT cycles. Predicts ovarian sensitivity based on age, AMH, follicle count to recommend optimal FSH dose.
And embryo selection.
AI-assisted embryo selection systems use machine learning to assess embryo viability, morphology, genetics, past outcomes. But
A caveat.
the review brings up the debate. Some research questions if AI significantly increases IVF success rates, suggest resources might be better focused elsewhere in reproductive medicine sometimes.
That important point, cost effectiveness, meaningful difference. What about AI for sperm analysis?
AI tools are being developed for real-time sperm quality analysis, motility, concentration. Goal is selecting sperm most likely to fertilize an IVF-IUI.
Genetic quality too.
Potential for advanced deep learning models to assess genetic quality, but again, cost-effectiveness needs consideration.
And assessing endometrial receptivity, the uterine lining.
AI models for that are still early stage. Aim to analyze ultrasound images beyond just thickness, pinpoint optimal embryo transfer time, need more research, validation, cost-effectiveness checks before wide use.
It seems like promise, but careful evaluation is needed. The review also mentions AI in broader fertility prediction and remote consultations.
Right. Fertility is broader than just ovarian reserve. AI could potentially integrate data over PREDs, sperm analysis, fallopian tube patency predictions for more accurate overall fertility forecasts.
And remote consults.
AI's potential there is significant. Patients could get expert guidance, continuous monitoring without frequent clinic visits, especially helpful for remote or mobility-challenged individuals. Could lead to better decisions, patient autonomy, more effective interventions. Finally, the review looks at AI tackling challenges of the aging population, another huge global issue. How's AI improving quality of life for older adults?
In many ways. Trying to improve quality of life, maybe even slow some aspects of aging, intelligent health monitoring, personalized management, remote services via telemedicine, smart companions.
Let's start with dementia prediction, cognitive health monitoring, treatment, a major concern.
AI tech shows promise predicting dementia risk even in healthy adults. Allows earlier interventions, lifestyle changes.
Continuous tracking.
AI continuously tracks cognitive performance via wearables, smart homes, detecting subtle early declines. Can also recommend diets for brain health and treatment.
AI speeds up drug discovery for dementia, helps personalize treatment, assists cognitive rehab, provides intelligent monitoring for advanced stages. Early detect and personalized care seem key.
What about broader early disease screening and prediction for seniors?
AI tools analyze large health datasets to identify risks long before symptoms appear. The review mentions AI predicting Alzheimer's 15 years prior.
Wow.
It also highlights interconnected health conditions, PCOS, as a marker for broader issues. AI tools like PCOS aim to identify conditions early, monitor related chronic illnesses, predict progression, recommend prevention, helping people live healthier longer.
That proactive screening could be huge. Telemedicine is an AI solution. How's that benefiting older adults?
AI-driven telemedicine delivers healthcare remotely. Great for those with limited mobility or access issues. Advanced AI assists, symptom assessment, Virtual consults, personalized recommendations, tools like Ada Health, Sydney Health, K Health exist.
Challenges, though.
Important ones. Data privacy, standardization, building trust, the digital divide ensuring access for everyone. Need careful consideration.
Makes sense. Intelligent health monitoring systems. Helping independence.
They use wearables or smart home tech to track key health metrics continuously, allows early detection, timely interventions, improves chronic condition management, enhances quality of life, safety, independence.
Smart companion robots sound intriguing. Practical help and emotional support. Current state.
AI companion robots are being developed for everyday tasks, med reminders, meal guidance, bathing support, fall prevention. Also emotional companionship conversation, cognitive stimulation.
Hurdles.
Significant ones still.
What?
High production costs, affordability, user-friendliness for seniors, cultural differences in interacting with robots, privacy concerns. Still challenges before widespread use.
Finally, smart environments for aging in place.
AI is transforming smart homes for older adults' needs, allowing safer, independent living for longer. Systems adjust lighting, temperature, security based on preferences, health, monitor activity, detect emergencies like falls, send alerts, voice assistance, wearables integrate.
Challenges remain here, too.
Costs, internet access, privacy. Need to address these to create truly safe, supportive environments.
Well, that was a truly comprehensive journey through AI in medicine for 2025, thanks to that review guiding us.
Absolutely. We've seen how AI is rapidly changing so much: deep data analysis, prediction, personalization, drug discovery, robotics.
And tackling those big societal challenges like birth rates and aging populations.
It's really clear AI isn't just a future concept. It's actively reshaping healthcare right now, and its impact will just keep growing. And considering all this vast potential we've discussed today, here's a final thought for you, the learner. As these AI technologies get more deeply woven into our healthcare and daily lives, what do you think are the most critical ethical considerations we need to get right? Where do we need the most focus for responsible development and use?
It's a constantly evolving landscape, and perspective from informed individuals like you is really vital.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.